Hi, welcome to your first video. This is going to be section 1.1, expressions and formulas. At any time you may pause, go back, rewatch, and it's just a regular video. Okay, so in section 1.1, you must have your video note sheet out. It must be completed, so you'll need to pause it when you need to write stuff down if I'm going too fast. So I'm going to go kind of fast because this is all Algebra 1 review. I'll be more glad to go over it more in depth in class if you don't understand. So the first thing we need to look is our vocabulary. Variables, algebraic expression, order of operation, and formula. I'm really concerned about these two, algebraic expressions and order of operations. We know what a variable is. It's just a letter used to represent some number. Now, an algebraic expression is an expression that contains at least one variable. And there is no equal sign or inequality. That's really important. That's going to become important later on in a couple of sections. Order of operations, just what you learned in elementary and junior high all the way through this point. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So we've got please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And what does that mean? P means grouping symbols. E stands for exponents and radicals. MD, as you see, they're next to each other, they're not on top of each other. That means multiplication / division from left to right. Doesn't matter which one comes first, how many of which ones you have, you can just go from left to right. Same thing with the last step, which is addition and subtraction. So we'll go more in depth as we are in class, just give you some little hints on symbols. So remember, symbols are parentheses, brackets, braces, absolute value, division bar, and the distribution property. However, distribution property can be moved down to multiplication and division. Sometimes you have a choice which one you want to use it as. Sometimes you don't have a choice, depending on the situation. Okay, formula, which is your last vocabulary. It's just a mathematical sentence that expresses the relationship between certain quantities. So it's just basic. So our objectives for this section are going to be, we're going to use the order of operation to evaluate expressions. And then we're going to use formulas. So if we're looking for one particular piece of information in a formula and we're given everything else, we can solve. So this order of operation is important. So let's look at example 1. So example 1, it says evaluate this expression, algebraic expression, if m equals 3 and p equals -4. So basically what we're going to do is, so we're going to, it's always important to use parentheses as often as you can. So plus, we're just going to insert m and p with these values and use order of operation. This is an expression. So I do parentheses first, so 3 plus, that is going to be -5 square. This is, remember, -5 times -5, negative times negative is a positive, so it stays positive 25, and then we get 28. It's really that simple. So now I want you to pause it, and I want you to attempt guided practice 1A and 1B, and check your answers afterwards. Now example 2 is just more evaluating expressions. They just get a little bit more difficult. So they said evaluate, this is example 2A, which is this one right here. So we're going to just put 5 in for A, -3.2 for B. So this one's a little bit more complicated. So 5 plus, and this is where I start using more parentheses. It just helps keep me organized, and I will make fewer mistakes. Not that I won't make mistakes. So the first thing we want to do is PEMDAS. Any parentheses? Yes. Anything to do inside of this parentheses? No. What about here? Yes, we can subtract these two. So we have 5 plus -3.2 square times -8.2. So the next thing that it says is E, exponents. Yes, so we're going to take this and square it. So 5 plus, so negative times a negative results in a positive, 10.24, and this is where I keep my parentheses. Now, most of you might want to tend to do 5 plus this and then multiply. Remember, multiplication and division come before addition. So this is still multiplication. So now I'm going to multiply these two. And a positive times a negative is going to result in a negative. And that's 83.968. And it's going to result in negative 78.968 is your solution. And always box in your answer. Okay, so let's look at B. It's another complicated one. All right, so B's got fractions. Okay, we said division bar is an order of operation. It is a grouping symbol. So let's figure out how we're going to do this. So first we're going to go and we're going to substitute all the values in here. 4 minus, and I'm big on using parentheses, especially when you have sign numbers and decimals, okay, or even fractions in that matter. And then we have negative 5 cubed plus 2 times 4. Okay, so parentheses. I have lots of parentheses, but nothing inside of parentheses to evaluate. So, but this division bar is considered a grouping symbol, which means we do the numerator first, simplify that, and then the denominator, and then we do this operation, which turns into a division problem. So we start all over. Parentheses, nothing to do inside. Exponents, yes. So negative 3 to the 4th, so that's negative 3 times negative 3 4 times, results in a positive, which is 81, minus 3 times 4 times negative 5 over negative 5 cubed results in a negative 125 plus 2 times 4. So now we're going to do multiplication. So I've got 81 minus 3 times 4 times negative 5. Let's go ahead and erase this. Okay, so, sorry. Whoopsie, I need to change my, back over to my pen. Sorry about that. Okay, so 3 times 4, negative 3 times positive 4 times negative 5 results in a positive 60 over negative 125 plus 8. So now I'm going to do 81 plus 60, which is 141. Negative 125 plus 8 results in a negative 117. You can divide both by 3, which gives us a negative 47 over 39. All right, so I want you to pause this video and do guided practice 2A and 2B. Okay, and 2C, sorry. All right, so the last thing we're going to look at in this section is going to be using formulas. We went over what a formula is, so let's look at this real world example. It says the formula for the volume of a cone is V equals 1/3 pi r squared h can be used to approximate the value of a tornado. Find the approximate volume of the tornado at the right. So we're just going to simply fill in the value. So volume equals 1/3, 3.14, 75 square times 225, because our radius is 75 and our height is 225. You put this all in your calculator and get 1,324, approximately 688 cubic meters. If you look at the book, they have a different answer. Their answer is 1325359, because what they do is they actually use the key of the pi button instead of typing in 3.14. So of course pi goes on forever and it's not rounded. So therefore we get a different answer. For our class purposes, you always use 3.14 unless otherwise stated. Okay, do these, check your answers, and we'll see you in class.